Yeah.
Did we? And everybody goes, who cares who the mayor of New York is? It's really important. It's the biggest city in America. It's hugely visible. And yesterday, Andrew Cuomo said, I'm getting back in, running as an independent. And I'm going to tell you, that is bad news for Mr. Mamdani because now he's got three guys running against him, all have some degree of skin in the game. You got Eric Adams, you got Andrew Cuomo, and you've got Curtis Sliwa. There's no runoff. The winner, plurality wins. Somebody could win this with 35%. Curtis got 28 when he ran sort of head to head against Eric Adams 4 years ago. It's not out of the question. Andrew Cuomo getting in. I don't think Andrew is going to win. But I don't know. I think it's bad news for Mamdani and might be good news for Curtis Sliwa. And so, hey, so I offer you that.
Yep. I see it completely opposite. I think you're 100% wrong. You're dead wrong. And let me tell you why. Because all of the analysts, and listen, you could be smarter than all of them, but everybody says all this does is split the vote and give Mamdani a path into the mayoral's office. Because you're going to have three guys who are going to split apart the vote.
There's a Mamdani vote and a non-Mamdani vote.
Right. I mean, there's no way this helps him. There isn't any way. In fact, I'm a little shocked at your perspective. If you've got Cuomo pulling 20% or 15% or 20%, Curtis pulling 15 or 20%, Eric Adams pulling 15 or 20%, how do you think that beats Mamdani? Then all he needs is 31%.
He's going to win it with 30-some%.
That's Mamdani.
Know that it's him. I think it's.
You don't know that it's him.
In November. In something about November. That's a long time. A lot of the bloom may come off of his rose. I hope it does. So
look, there to me is a parallel between the New York City mayor's race and the Epstein story. And let me tell you what it is. The only way we screw ourselves is when we screw ourselves. Now, I mean, look at the media now running with Epstein, and they're just loving this. MAGA
Hakeem Jeffrey's all about Epstein.
They're torn up. MAGA's tearing itself apart. Axios, the siege mentality. It's the first time that Trump has gotten a revolt, and they're tearing. It's the first time since Trump came down the escalator that MAGA is turning on him. Look at him go! Look at him go! Again, self-inflicted wound on our part. We're doing this to ourselves. In New York, if the egos of Eric Adams and Chris Cuomo and my friend Curtis, and he is my friend, and I had him on the show yesterday. Look, in a perfect world, Curtis Sliwa is Giuliani 2.0. I mean, he's the best thing that could possibly happen in New York. Are you kidding me? A law and order guy. He knows every inch of New York City as founder of the Guardian Angels. When I interviewed him yesterday, he reminded me of the Underbelly tour that he gave me the first night I took over at WABC. He took me under his wing. Curtis Sliwa took me under his wing and said, Mike Gallagher, you're the new kid on the block here at WABC. You just sort of ostensibly replaced Bob Grant, which were big shoes to fill. But that was my big gig right at WABC, and Curtis was a fixture there at the time. He was the perennial fill-in talk show host for every shift. In fact, this is not a joke. He used to sleep on the floor under his desk in a cubicle, and when somebody was out, he would pop up and go in and do a talk show. I watched him in a dead sleep get woken up, walk into the studio, and start talking like he didn't miss a beat. This guy's a machine.
I make myself available for a bunch of shows. I ain't sleeping in the building waiting for the opportunity.
You're a piker compared to Curtis Sliwa.
Compared to this.
But so he was Mr. WABC. So my first day, he said, Mike Gallagher, I'm going to take you to the Guardian Angels Underbelly tour of New York. We were in Harlem. We went to the Bronx, and I mean the Bronx.
South Bronx.
At 10 o'clock at night. I mean, it was, and he's got the bright red beret, and I'm thinking, we're going down any minute now.
The Guardian Angels were. The Guardian Angels were the beret-wearing force led by Curtis. It wasn't a message that said the cops aren't enough, or not at all. It was very pro-cop. It's like, listen, we're going to be the eyes and ears. We know you guys can't be everywhere, but the Guardian Angels were on the subways, in the neighborhoods, there to sometimes call the police or there to sometimes intervene in some non-lethal way make.
beloved by most New Yorkers. You know, even though everybody knows Curtis is a rock ribbed conservative, they still love the idea of helping the police. So there, and look, I think he sleeps with that red beret on. I almost had the guts to ask him yesterday in the interview, if you lost the beret, you think you'd go up 10 points, but I couldn't do it.
You told me that a couple of weeks ago.
I couldn't do it.
It's weird. That's his brand. That's his
I
thing.
know.
If you have something that makes you iconic
I
and makes
know.
you recognizable, you don't toss. As soon as he tosses the beret, he's just another dude.
And he's all about the brand. He's very good about branding. In fact, now he's walking around with a Curtis for NYC mayor jacket on. So he knows how to brand. So anyway, and he reminded me, and here's the crazy part about that night where I got to go to we went to White Castle and got what do you call them? Gut busters, sliders, gut bombs. I mean, and people are, hey, Curtis, yo, Curtis. And I'm thinking, and I got a tour. And that night, TWA Flight 800 went down off the coast of Long Island. And he and I raced back to the radio station, and we both worked into the wee hours of the morning with that coverage. That was the night that all happened. That was my initiation to WABC. And Curtis yesterday said one of the kindest things that I've heard. I mean, look, I don't get a lot of kudos. I don't ask for them. I don't pat myself on the back. We haven't even mentioned that I'm number 9 on this year's Talkers Magazine Every 100 list. We don't want to even mention that. I mean, who's keeping track? I'm number 9. But Curtis said, I watched you in action, Mike Gallagher, that night, and I saw you to be the broadcaster that you are. You're as good as anybody in the business. And he just gave me a lot of real nice compliments. And so, look, he'd be a fantastic mayor, but he's not going anywhere. He's a Republican in a blue city. And the conventional wisdom is, and I think you said it, if I'm not mistaken, a few weeks ago, good luck, Curtis, with that. That ain't going to happen. So here's what Cuomo proposed. If by September, let's look at where the three of us are in the polling, and whoever is second and third drop out and coalesce behind the person who's leading in the polling so that it's a one-on-one.
Or if it's Mamdani still leading in the polling, whoever is first among the non-Mamdani people. Right.
I don't know why you keep bringing that up. Mamdani is the Democrat, is the nominee. Mark, there's nobody. But what are you talking about?
The primaries are over. We're done. So now,
right, it's a general election between Mamdani and anyone else.
So you mean whoever's there with Republican?
So of the three challengers of Eric Adams, Cuomo, or Curtis, if let's coalesce. Look, that's the only chance New York's got, because if they don't, if they're going to split the vote, and you're saying, I mean, if you look at the math, Mamdani doesn't need that much if all three of them peel off enough votes to split.
Who do you think that'll be? Who do you think?
Well, they're not. I don't think.
Probably not going to be Curtis. Probably not going to be Curtis.
Mark, I don't think any of their egos are going to let them do that. They're not going to back down.
But just as a thought exercise, between Eric Adams and Andrew Cuomo, who do you think will have more polls?
Or Curtis Sliwa. In a perfect world, it would be Curtis.
No, but it's not. I think so. The world's not perfect, and it is New York. So might it be? Do you think it's Andrew Cuomo's idea, right? And I think it's based on the belief that he thinks he'll be second in the polls. It'll be Mamdani, Cuomo, and then Eric and Curtis. And he'll say, look, those of you who are below me, get out, so that it could be just me against Mamdani, and then I got a chance. Which,
if one of those guys is challenging Mamdani, I think one of them will win. If 2 or 3 of them are challenging him, Mamdani is going to win. Again, it's going to be a self-inflicted wound because egos are going to get in the way. And Cuomo has as big an ego as anybody in the universe. So he's running as he declared yesterday. He's running as an independent.
I'm in it to win it.
I'm in it to, and it was a lackluster, lifeless message. Who cares?
To use your very sound premise of your sort of connection between self-inflicted wounds and needless or unfortunate conflict in what should be a time of harmony and energy for MAGA.
Right.
You're 100% right, and that's part of what grieves me a little bit. But it's not like these people are wrong. The folks who are clamoring for more accountability, ain't going to be no client list, guys, sorry. But something, just give us something, throw us a bone, man. They're not wrong. And so what are we, What are we telling those folks?
See, that's a good question, because I've got people pulling me, and you're probably getting the same thing. I get text messages saying, please stop talking about Epstein. Get over it. Please move on. We got big wins at the Supreme Court. Don't look now. The court is letting Trump do what he wants to do with the Department of Education, which is well overdue. Huge win there. All kinds of wins, all kinds of accomplishments, and we're missing it because everybody's obsessing about Epstein. But you and I are of the mindset that I'm not going to shut down the way people feel or what they want to talk about. I can't do it. Everybody's talking about the Epstein thing. And your analysis today, and again, I was listening to you, the old Howard Franklin monologue, the old Howard Franklin Bridge, Mark Davis monologue.
I take Mike across Tampa Bay every day.
You take me, and boy, you ought to see what they're doing to that thing. They're blowing up spans, and they're doing new construction, and it looks like something out of another movie. But I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, Mark is spot on. I mean, you're right. You have a right to be frustrated because this is going to not have a satisfying conclusion. And the reason we're frustrated is that we've got so many satisfying conclusions. Look at the border. He got the border sealed in a matter of hours. I mean, just like that. The economy is turning around. The stock market is soaring. We are respected again on the world stage. But there's not going to be an easy resolution to this. You're so right. If they had any dirt on Trump, this whole narrative that Trump's probably on the list, baloney. They would have used it.
Any Republican.
Everybody was hanging out with Epstein in the 90s.
Yep.
Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, and Oprah. They were all hanging out with the guy. So that's not enough. But again, people keep saying to me, but Mike, if there are all these terrible, terrible girls that were victimized, how do you let all those men get away with it? Well, you shouldn't. But here's a weird question that nobody seems to be asking. Well, some do. Why aren't any of the victims coming forward saying he did this to me or he did that to me? Nobody. There's not one. What's up with that? These are all women now.
After decades of navigating this, easy to say, hard to do. Easy for us to say.
Well, yeah.
Just come forward. However,
and then your life gets blown up.
How many flipping victims are we supposed to have? I mean, we should be able to fill a football stadium with them. So the story is told. It would seem that there'd be a handful who'd be willing to say, and I tell you, they would be met with empathy, huge appreciation, and if somebody stepping forward to say, I was one of those young girls, and here are 6 guys who did things to me. That would be unbelievably
heroic. Very unfortunate. It's all unfortunate. And let me tell you the most unfortunate thing of all. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't get mad at Mike. Blame Mark when I say the following. Yes. When I say it's going to blow over. It's going to blow over.
Well, you're totally
It's going to blow over. And I give it a week, maybe a couple weeks, but it's going to blow over. And that makes people crazy when I say that. Did I hear you say you're totally right?
Of course you're totally right.
Okay, I blame Mark Davis for this point of view. Direct all correspondence to Mark Davis at Mark Davis.
Definition of blowing over.
We're going to move on.
There's the vast majority of people. Some
folks won't. The people that want the clicks and they want the and look, they're not wrong.
I mean, you're right in the media influencers clickbait world, but I also mean some good-hearted people who love you and love me. And think we're just not torqued off enough about this, or just if we were to just
we don't care, we're hypocrites. I know.
We're ambivalent about child sex abuse. I love that one.
That's a good one.
They're
just frustrated. They're frustrated, and I
lied to us forever about everything. The basis for that. Bob France filling in for Stigall this morning said, "Look at all the cover-ups from the auto pen to Biden's very condition to Comey and Clapper to who shot Trump and why." And
but that's not a Donald Trump affectation.
Correct.
It does not come from Trump. So trust the guy. Yeah. He's got information that we don't have. Yep. He's saying move on. He's saying let's not blow this thing up.
Last thing, because we're late. What do you mean he's got information that we don't have? I mean, I think you're generally right about that most days. It's true most days he's president. But what does he know that we are not allowed to know? Huh?
How do we know when we don't know? How do I know? Right. If you don't know, you don't know. I mean, that's the point. I know what I don't know. I do know that everyone should blame Mark Davis for saying we're going to move on. At Mark Davis at X.
I'm moving on from this segment right now.
MarkDavis
on Twitter.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.